Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players, everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Super Sale and get 40% off paints and stains September 19th through the 24th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
In a so-called free state, officials and stakeholders concoct solutions to problems often created by other bureaucrats and with little regard for infringements on the people. These stories are born at the apex of freedom and entrepreneurship. We foolishly advocate for the taxpayer. Brian's Beat presents Freedom Fools.
Yes, indeed. It's a Saturday afternoon and a pretty fall-like Saturday. Isn't that interesting because autumn doesn't happen until Monday, the so-called equinox? Welcome to Freedom Fools on WBSM. I sure am. Saturday afternoon. Great place to be, WBSM, and of course, with you. Today is National Museum Day. When was the last time you went to a museum? National Museum Day. You know what else? It's also National Singles Day. I don't think they mean playing tennis singles. National Singles Day. And I think this one is pretty important. Thank a Police Officer Day. Just the other day when I was over at Market Basket, I thanked Officer Taj. New to the New Bedford Police Department, I thanked him for his service. And he said, thank you to me. I did not give him any reason to arrest me, but I have full confidence that if I do something that warrants Officer Taj to have to put handcuffs on me, I'm going to feel that he did the correct thing. It's also Software Freedom Day. Boy, that's kind of tough. With everything that's going on between China and what's happening here in our own country. Software Freedom Day. Is there such a thing? I remember this as if it happened yesterday. Guy gets into a car, has bombs, explosives within that vehicle and on himself. He drives over to the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon. 22 dead. That was 1984. In front of a joint session of Congress on this date in 2001, President Bush, the son, declares war on terrorism. And though I think many of us thought that war had been won, it seems we're still fighting it. 2001, today's date is, 24 years. The Brian Speak quote of the day. We need to change America's image around the world. America has lost some luster in terms of how folks aspire to be like us. We need to change America's image around the world. America has lost some luster in terms of how folks aspire to be like us. What do you think of that quote from Samuel L. Jackson. Do we need to change the image? Is President Trump the correct person to change our image? Is he changing our image for the better? I'm not sure he is the person. I think certainly some of the things that have gone on over the past couple of weeks, just here at home, I think we have an image problem here in the United States. Never mind what everybody around the world is thinking. Quite frankly, I believe we know what people around the world are thinking of the United States right now, whether they're looking at our president, whether they're looking at our Congress and president, and how we are handling things with Israel and the Middle East and all of the tariffs. And that's just the front and center stuff. There are other things outside of the realm of the President of the United States or the former President of the United States. When folks in other countries see people from the United States coming as visitors, tourists, it's not like, oh, they're from the United States of America. Now, they may treat us differently because they're hoping for a nice tip. But I think I would like to give a tip because I feel sincerity in the person waiting on me. My thought. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say. 508-996-0500. We need to change America's image around the world. America has lost some luster in terms of how folks aspire to be like us. I'm going to bring this up, and this predates President Trump, at least Trump 2.0. It actually got bigger during the Biden years, and it started back during the Obama era. And that is what's going on with these nations under BRICS, which I know it doesn't really get much play on our media news, our television news. But I think as you look at and say whatever you want about China and Russia, you have other countries, India, Brazil, Iran. You have other nations that are now a part of BRICS, Malaysia. And the reason why they are joining up with BRICS is the way that the United States, when I say I should be more specific, the way that our government, the people within our government, are treating their nation and their people. What do I mean by that? Well, if whatever administration doesn't like the policy of said country, one of the ways that we wage a little war with that country is slapping on sanctions or tariffs, which may seem good at the outset. We're trying to get even. But if that shoe were on the other foot, we might see it differently. And it's hard. I don't have my shoe on their foot. I have heard what their people are saying, and, kind of makes sense. I think that we would feel the same way if that pressure was turned on to us. And in fact, I think we have seen that it has been turned on to us. And that's why right now the current president, Trump, is having a hell of a time with his tariffs. Not only with China, but with many other nations trying to get things through. Because our leadership, not just Trump, but prior to Trump, has been so hard-headed, hard-lined, sanction-ready, that the other nations are tired of it. That's why there is a BRICS right now. Sometimes I think I know we have outplayed our hand in this particular case. All right, so there was a tragic incident this week, and for the life of me, I don't quite get why we haven't really hit on this story. I mean, I do know, but at the same time, considering how we are as a people here in the United States, and certainly the listenership of WBSM, I am appalled by the fact that we have not talked more about it. So I'm going to bring it up right now. But I might meet with a repercussion where nobody is interested. And maybe that's why we didn't talk about it. People were interested in other things. But how often has there been a scene where 5 police officers were shot at, 3 of them killed, and that's not the number one topic on this radio station for the course of an afternoon and maybe a couple of days? How often? We have been so centered on the other topic, which my guess is we will also get into today, that we really haven't talked about 3 police officers in the line of duty gunned down. I don't know. Does it not fit the scenario of the type of shooter? Maybe because it wasn't somebody from Black Lives Matter that pulled the trigger. But in fact, how about this? If it had been somebody from Black Lives Matter, do you think that we would be talking about it more? My guess is absolutely yes. And I'm going to turn that just a bit, okay? Fair is fair, even's Steven. If it had been somebody from a white supremacist group, we would be talking about that too. But the shooter in this particular case, of all things, happened to be a libertarian. Doesn't make us look good, us libertarians. But the shooter in and of himself does not fit the mold that would say, okay, we need to rant and rave about it. It's not like the sensational case. Since when is shooting 5 police officers not sensational in the United States of America? But it doesn't compare to this shooting with Charlie Kirk, because it doesn't seem to have a shooter who has been labeled a lefty loony, who is a partner with someone who's transitioning. And because Charlie was on a speaking tour where he praised and wanted more open dialogue. Now, the police officers were responding to a domestic violence call. 3 of them ended up getting killed. 2 are, or at least the last I knew, critically wounded. And we're not talking about that. Makes me wonder how and why things have changed so much. Doesn't it make you wonder that? How is it, again, I don't want to take away from a host that used to be on this station, not a host that I knew, but Charlie Kirk, an excellent talk show host, an excellent speaker. I won't question whether or not he was well prepared. I think by all accounts, Charlie Kirk was well prepared to debate just about anybody. Most of the time, at least when I saw him on TV, most of the time that I saw him sparring with somebody, he was the winner. And the times that he did not win, he graciously accepted defeat. But we're talking 5 uniformed police officers here. And they're no match for Charlie Kirk. Where have we gone? We praise police officers. And all of a sudden, 5 are shot, 3 killed, domestic dispute, and we're hardly talking about it? You'll pardon me if I scratch my bald head. I find that so... I tried bringing it up the other night. Nobody wanted to bite. Not one call on that. And, not surprising so far, nobody seems to be interested in it today. What is that telling us? We are so captivated by Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel. I can't tell you when the funeral is going to come up for these police officers. I can't tell you if President Trump has decided to lower the flags to half staff because of the 3 deceased police officers. I could understand it if it's a yes, but I haven't heard anything about it. It is as if this incident happened and then next, on to the next thing. Except we really haven't gone on to the next thing, have we? We have stuck with Charlie Kirk, and Jimmy Kimmel is a part of Charlie Kirk. So I have been watching the president's moves, President of the United States, while he was over there in jolly old England. And he made some comments, one that's very troubling. I'm going to play it for you in a bit. But I'm wondering, the president is coming out speaking about Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm wondering the course that we're going down. We're so focused on Charlie Kirk, whether it was a lefty loony or someone who just kind of strayed away from the family values that he grew up with, that sometimes we don't see, what do they say, the forest through the trees? What is happening, what the president is saying, what the FCC commissioner has come out and stated, and how that affects ABC and some of the other networks, and then what you and I view on the major broadcast networks. 508-996-0500. Thank you, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon.
Let's talk about those 5 police officers.
Please.
First of all, I want to thank you for making me aware of it. I'm a senior citizen. I watched all the local ABCs and NBC local newses, and I really didn't hear of it up until you mentioned it.
Really?
And yes, and I am concerned because the police officers in this country don't get the respect they deserve. It is crazy. And nothing against Charlie Kirk. I felt bad for him as well and his family. But, these police officers, they don't get the respect on the streets. If people around, I saw a guy the other day, he had 2 words on his eyelids that said, F you cops.
Really?
I mean, give me a break.
I'm going to give you more than a break. I'm going to say, what kind of eyes do you have? What carrots did you eat to even be able to read something like that?
Well, he made it specific that he wanted to show them off.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Wow.
he was proud of it, if you will. And I was ready to bop. Excuse me.
I thought you were going to say beat him up.
Well, no, I would, but I'm over the age of beating people up. If I was 20 years younger, I probably would have given him a.
Don't you feel like every once in a while that you just to get it out of your system, you want to go just smack somebody?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This world is gone to hell in a handbag. We've lost all concept of what really should be what's happening out there. This is just crazy.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And I want to thank you for bringing that up because and the other thing is I have a granddaughter that's a police officer, and I worry about her every day. You should. Yes, I really do because you never know. Now, can you enlighten me more about where were these 5 officers shot, and what.
So there's a county called York in Pennsylvania, not far from the Maryland border. And apparently there was a domestic, again, I haven't seen too much about it, just bits and pieces. So if somebody else has heard the story and I'm misinforming, it is not disinforming, please call in and correct me or fill in the blank that I don't have. At any rate, the police received a call of some type of domestic disturbance. And when they got there, apparently there was an ambush of some sort, and 3 officers were shot and killed, 2 others were wounded. And that's about crazy. All I know.
That is absolutely, that's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it. And I might be wrong on the date. I believe it was either on Monday that it happened, or I remember thinking it was before I heard anything about Jimmy Kimmel. But I'm sorry, what good is that?
No, exactly. I mean, like I said, maybe present company excluded. We have our priorities in the wrong places. We really do.
I think sometimes you're absolutely right. We're certainly missing the boat on many things.
Well, again, thank you for making me aware of it, and keep up the good work. I really enjoy listening to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
508-996-0500. Well, I mean, I can't blame him if he hasn't heard the story. I can blame media sources for not. I mean, when was the last time you heard ABC bring it up? When was the last time you heard ABC, funeral arrangements or funeral is going to be, president's going to lay anything like that, dealing with that story. Long time for me, that's for sure. Yeah, five police officers shot, 3 3 were killed. During this span, taking you back more than a week now, let's say a week and a half, because of the incident with Charlie Kirk, not trying to downplay it. But on the same day that Charlie Kirk was killed, there was a school shooting in the Colorado County where Columbine High School is located. A couple of the students were shot at, I believe wounded. And then the gunman turned the gun on himself. Hardly anything about it. I don't recall people. I think I got one call dealing with the incident over at not Northeastern, but UMass Boston, where there was a threat at the campus. I don't recall getting any calls about the kid in Falmouth who allegedly made a school shooting threat. Just kind of some of the stuff that's going on. Something that's going on today, which is important to me and hopefully to you, is the effort to try to get some changes made when it comes to our electric and our gas bills. Eversource filed a notice with the Department of Public Utilities. They want to raise gas rates, I believe, 13% leading into the wintertime. 13% on top of what you are already paying. Unbelievable. Let's hear from you. 508-996-0500. Hello.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to bring you up to date on the 3 police officers.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah, it was well televised on national, like Fox, CNN, and Newsmax. And what happened was his ex-girlfriend and her mother were in the house. They called police that he was loose and coming at them. And there was a warrant already out on him. So I guess they were looking for him. And in the meantime, the ex-girlfriend and mother escaped from the house, ran away. So the perpetrator entered the house, and they weren't there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He shot
so
the dog.
I just want to make sure. So the bad guy, okay, the bad guy went into. He went to the house. And when he got to the house, the mother and the daughter weren't there.
Right.
All right. So I guess they knew he was coming.
Right.
Okay. So he's now he's in. Okay. So now the guy is in the house. Pick it up from there.
In the house. So the police go into the house, and that's when they were ambushed shot. Okay.
So the police just went in on their own.
There was a warrant, and the ex-girlfriend and the mother called 911.
I get that part, but I mean, but did somebody? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to say you know the answer, but it makes me wonder. Okay, unless you got I guess if you have a warrant, but you didn't have a warrant to search that premise.
No,
how would they know he was inside?
Well, because the daughter called 911.
Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to piece it together because
that's all I heard from the TV.
Okay,
they called 911, and that led the police to that house.
Okay, so they go into the house, and he just fires away.
And he fires away at them. Yeah.
Okay.
And he got shot. He killed too, but it was pretty well televised on the national programs. I didn't hear it on local news, so.
Well, I understand that maybe you wouldn't hear it on local news, but that's something that we talk about here on WBSM quite often. If you think back to Dallas and some of the other shootings, when it involves police, I mean, it's like our antenna goes up, and we're talking about that maybe for a couple of days. But this one, nothing.
This is terrible. I think there were 2 detectives, and they all had families, kids, and it just made you sick, Mm-hmm. And that's all I know.
Well,
okay, Brian?
You knew more than I did. So, no, thank you very much.
All right.
I do appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, bye. 508-996-0500. So, maybe you saw it on TV. But don't you find it odd if you listen to this station on a regular basis? I don't mean 24/7, but on a regular basis. Don't you find it odd that we wouldn't be talking about it? I think I asked Barry when he came back, so on Tuesday, if he had brought it up, and I think so. Tuesday was the day that I believe that story broke, or maybe it was the Monday. I don't know, but he said nothing on it. Not that he said nothing. He didn't get any calls on. I don't know if he talked about it or not. These things that are commonplace, or maybe that's why. Let's put our feet on the ground for a second. Maybe it's because we're used to school shootings. We immersed ourselves with the Minnesota shooting from, I guess, would be 3 weeks now, coming up this week when that happened, that we don't even think about a school shooting where there are 2 kids injured and the shooter dies. We don't consider that anymore. Are we so numb to these shootings here in the United States that we just don't give jack anymore? You have to be of the stature of a Charlie Kirk in order for us to really start talking about it. Is that what it is? And I certainly hope it's not, because I believe that many of the people that do these types of shootings, there might be a screw loose upstairs. I won't argue that. But I also think that people who do these types of sensational shootings, they want attention. They want attention, whether or not they take their own life or they lose their life in a battle with the cops or anything like that is insignificant. But they want the attention of what they have done. And if they don't get any of that attention because we're not talking about it, well, that kind of blows their story. So maybe we shouldn't talk about it. I don't think so. I think when 5 police officers are shot and killed in the line of duty, that deserves at least equal billing with some of the other topics that we have been talking about on this station. Hello.
Hello, is this Brian?
This is Brian.
Hi, my name is Helen. I'm calling. I'm working with Elijah D'Souza on this utility agenda.
Mm-hmm. Helen, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice to talk to you.
So are you over at Market Basket?
I am not at Market Basket. I am in Boston.
Oh.
And I am one of the so-called team leaders to be distributing the initiative ballot signature forms and coordinating on that end. But, of course, I will be out there, the Boston area, and a couple communities I'm going to oversee, heading south.
All right. So what's going on today? What is your plan of attack for today now that you've got petitions to get signatures?
Well, I distributed some this morning. Somebody picked them up, and I have a representative. Actually, I'm in South Boston. I have a representative working for us at the annual South Boston Street Fair, because that's going to be a huge draw to try and get a lot of signatures. And the person that is doing that is very familiar with the process. So we're looking forward to that. And that's just the start, because the sheets just hit the streets today, actually.
Yours did. I signed some sheets over at the Market Basket in New Bedford. Today being Saturday, I'm going to say Wednesday or Thursday.
Was it for our utility agenda?
No, it wasn't you guys.
Okay,
no.
Okay. I knew that, we did know that other, petition signature sheets are out there. Mm-hmm. Also, there were like 40 that were approved, 44, 45 maybe. Mm-hmm. But we have 3 of the initiatives that we're pursuing.
So what got you involved? I was mentioning earlier on the program today that Eversource has filed for a rate increase of something like 13% for gas. I'm not sure if you have Eversource or National Grid, but either way, what got you excited to the point that you're out handing out petition sheets?
Well, I've been involved since February with the group, the Eversource group, Citizens Against Eversource. Since February, it's kind of a weird story how people get attracted to things. And it comes to me on Facebook. Elijah, just as an average citizen, had posted something, because he saw his utility bill and had been watching where things were going. And it came to me and got my attention. And it's so out of character for me to jump on something, like this or even be political. And the next thing, I'm at a rally and, we're up at legislature hearings and, pursuing this at every angle. And the Citizens Against Eversource group just mushroomed to about 38,000 members right now. And I was just involved because it kind of infuriated me of what was going on. We have no choice. To be honest with you, in Boston, well, it's not Boston. It's me, my house. I've been in my condo for 34 years, and I'm all electric. So I'm seeing it. I mean, it's a small one-bedroom, but I'm seeing it. So God only knows what other people are experiencing, although I'm seeing their bills being posted on our webpage and having heart failure looking at them. And it's just not right. It's just not right what they're doing. It's a conglomerate. We have no other choice for gas or electric. And we all know, what the governor's doing. The legislature's saying do it. She's signing it and giving carte blanche to DPU. And it's all over the news. And they're still giving us increases. Yeah. 4 increases a year. 2 for supply and 2 for delivery. That's obscene. It's got to be criminal.
So I'm reading right now from WCVB.com, Channel 5. Outrageous. Governor Healy reacts to proposed winter gas rate hike. Outrageous is what she's saying. These rate hikes are outrageous. Well,
I saw that, and I got so angry. And you know something? Because she's all for it. Now, if she wants to come forward and say, sorry, I was wrong in the way that I acted, but she's just going with, she never did anything bad. And that's not right, and that's not going to help her get voted either back in.
Well, I don't know about that part. I'm not a Healy supporter or anything like that, but I don't know that people are, unless you guys can do a superb job of tying her in to these rates going up. I don't think that's going to really stop her. But be that as it may, that's just my point of view.
And everybody knows. I see them posting comments on the Eversource, Citizens Against Eversource webpage. I see just general comments from people about, and they're totally blaming her. She's signing off on it and giving DPU carte blanche.
Well, she selects the people for the DPU. So what is that telling you?
Absolutely. So all three are guilty. The legislature, the governor, and the Department of Public Utilities, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, we can always try to vote them all out. Let's see what happens. Helen, I want to thank you so much for your call. Keep up the good fight.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Same. 508-996-0500. We've kind of breezed through this hour. Next hour, speaking of ballot questions, one that might excite you or might excite you not to either sign the petition or vote for it in November of 2026, because I do believe that this group will get the necessary signatures. The folks that want to do rent control here in the Commonwealth, that will be hour 2 of Freedom Fools on WBSM.
Give me liberty or give me death.
When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
I did hear the president say maybe their license should be taken away, as if to attack the freedom of the press. Now, before you jump on the bandwagon and say, well, look what Biden did. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I'm looking at what Trump is doing because he is in the driver's seat at this particular time. It is he who has his FCC chairman jawboning with ABC and the ABC affiliates, and they're the ones that got Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely suspended because he hasn't been fired. The problem here is if it were just the network or just the affiliates making a business decision, that would be okay. No one would complain. But with the president making that pronouncement on Air Force One yesterday, day before yesterday, one or the other, with the FCC chairman making this statement, I believe, on today is, so the FCC chairman, I believe, said this on Wednesday or on Thursday.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel. Or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC. Again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocations from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortions.
A pattern of news distortions. Maybe if it was coming out of the news wing, but Jimmy Kimmel is a comedian. You can use your own Richter scale on how funny Jimmy Kimmel is or not, but his program came out of the entertainment division, not the news division. People are watching Jimmy Kimmel, the few people that watch Jimmy Kimmel, for a modicum of entertainment. They're not looking at it as, well, here's my dosage of news. So the FCC chairman shouldn't be commenting in the first place. The FCC chairman is like a judge. And when these stations have license renewal, that's when they're supposed to respond. They have their lieutenants that go over all the paperwork, they do the interviewing and whatnot, and then the decision is made. Does this affiliate get to stay on the air? Do they get to renew their license? Does the network, same thing, do they get to renew their license? You don't come out and basically what he did in that jawbone is basically tell ABC, tell Disney, and tell the affiliates, you guys better do something about Jimmy Kimmel. And you might think that's the right thing, but I got to tell you, that is in direct opposition to what the First Amendment of the Constitution states, because the FCC is definitely a part of the federal government. And so that is a violation. Will anything ever happen from it? I don't know. But you've got the FCC chairman making that statement right there. And you can say Jimmy Kimmel sucks. I won't disagree. But at the time, ABC was not budging on moving. ABC execs came out and stated, he being Jimmy Kimmel, didn't cross that boundary that they thought was necessary for them to really take an action. The affiliates, while they complained, but they weren't in that mode that they were going to drop the program at that particular time. Now, a couple of the major affiliates, and by major affiliates, I'm talking about networks that own a plethora of ABC stations, like Nexstar. Probably never heard the name until yesterday, today, or maybe a couple of days ago. Nexstar owns the most ABC affiliates in the United States, last I knew. And you can own up to 39%. They're looking to own more. They need the FCC to make a change, a policy change, in order for Nexstar to own more stations. So, do you think that the arm twisting that the chairman of the FCC was delivering the other day had any effect on Nexstar approaching ABC and saying, hey, look, you got to do something about Jimmy Kimmel here? And if you don't, if you want to try to blame this on, well, Biden was able to do this or the other, or don't you remember when Obama did? I look at it as it's a progression. What one does, the next one tries to at least half double down or totally double down. What President Trump has done in this particular case, and again, don't believe me, just listen to the president's words.
When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
Their license should... that's blatant. That's blatant. All right, I've got to take a break. ABC is going to let us know what they want us to know in just a bit.
The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel.
Boy, doesn't that sound like an arm twist? Sure does. When it comes from the FCC commissioner, these companies, hey, easy way or the hard way. Sounds like you better do what we say or else. 68 in Somerset, 69 in Marion, 69 in New Bedford. Next hour, we're going to be joined by Andrea
Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California lottery. Players everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Your mom told you to find a real job.
Find a real job, Billy.
You built a 500-person company instead. To get from big to bigger, you need accounting, advisory, insurance, and more. Built for the middle market. CBiz.com.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by shipping cheap parts around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Skip the tariff and snag yourself American-made clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.